All right, it's halfway through the week, guys. It's Wednesday, and that means it is boards 5 and 6 in our weekly challenge against the robots. We're playing imps again this week. We have a couple of good scores on the card, we think, so far. And where I left you last time was this 14 count. And the rule I made earlier in, I think it might have been the first weekly challenge that we had, I said that I will keep to kind of my when I play private instant tournaments, I basically open almost every 14 point hand, one no trump. And I want to do that in this tournament for two reasons. I kind of like the challenge of it, but also I like to get us into interesting declare play problems, which we might not see if we're completely down the middle. But I will only disobey this with really, really terrible 14s and flat 14s. So this one, I'm going to stick to it in third seed anyway. Not that you should be opening no trump week in third seed. That's not what it's third seed opening week is meant for. But in the spirit of that, I'm going to open a no trump and take a look at this action. So two diamonds on our left should be the majors. Yeah, okay. So though they're playing Capoletti, that's the major suits. And here, this is just Leventhal. You might choose to play. There's a bunch of things you can play differently here when you know they have two suits, but for our robot partner, this just means we're supposed to bid three clubs. But our right hand opponent took the ball out of our hands. They bid three spades. And here, I hope we're not missing a big minor suit fit because I've opened a no trump, but also I don't really see anything terrible happening to us here. I'm going to pass and see what partner wants to do, and they pass as well. So I'm not upset about this. What do you guys want to lead on this hand? And remember conversations that we've had prior to this deal in this tournament. In fact, on board 3 we had a similar auction, and it's a recurring theme, which is a good one for this week. When they show two suits and one player says, "Hey, I prefer this one," it usually means they have length in one and shortness in the other, which means west here, or sorry, declare is going to be east. East is going to try to trump out that heart suit from the west player's hand using their presumed short heart position here. Now, sometimes the robot just has fits both. In both spots, one just happens to be better than the other. But here, I am perfectly fine leading a spade. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we see that once again, as expected. Oh, and East has five spades, so it doesn't matter. East is going to have plenty of time and plenty of ammunition to get their roughs. We'll get our tricks. And it looks like we are destined to probably get just these numbers of tricks. And it's going to be all she wrote. Let's see where that Queen of Diamonds is. All right. So they're going to have more than enough to rough out hearts. And they did have two, and they had a whole bunch of spades, so that should be all we get. Now, the good thing is we'll see what opening a minor suit would have done here, but it looks like they just had a 2-no bid to our left. Not sure why I'm taking my time here. We could have just conceded, but you can see the robot and their genius here. All right, let's take a peek at the actual deal as it started. So, yeah, good choice by East, by the way. A little upset they didn't bid 4 and let us go plus here, but if we opened a diamond, which would be our alternative to opening one no trump, West would probably get in there with a Michael's Cubit. I don't know why I said 2 no trump. Michael's Cubit showing both majors, and maybe East bids too much at the other table, but the difference here is the one no trump opening bid, two diamonds can be like 5-4-ish, right? Because it's interfering over the no trump. It's a little bit different. When we make a Michael's Q bid or an unusual 2 no trump bid, those should always be 5-5. So East at the other table, I don't know. They might bid a little bit more. They might jump to 4 spades with a hand like this. I guess we'll find out on Friday, but that's one that we can pan and say we might have a loss if they have a different auction there. And this is the downside to actually being aggressive with our no trump. This is not, hey, this is always going to work out great for us and it's a nice way to be aggressive. No, it could change the dynamics of the auction in such a way where just your bid of one no trump gets you a bad board, or a bad board relating to the other one. So I don't want you to think it's all roses when you decide to be the aggressive, like the crazy bidder, because you're definitely you're putting variance into the mix, which is always going to lead down different pathways, which sometimes can be great, but other times disaster. But we're on to board 6, part 2 of our Wednesday session, and here, nice 14 count. Not the right shape to be opening no trump. We're not going to get into that. We're going to bet a club. Not surprising. It goes a spade. Check back to you. Make your bid, folks. What are you doing with this hand? There is one right bid and one right bid only. I'm going to give it to you in 3 seconds, so if you need more time to think, press pause and come back. It's double, folks. It's double, double, double. When we are in this position, opening bit of a suit, like one banana, 2 oranges to our left, a banana, a grape, an apple. It doesn't matter what it is. Suit, pass back to us, the opening bidder. When we have 3 or less cards in the opponent's suit, actually, let's say 2 or less cards in the opponent's bid suit, we should always reopen the auction with this bid. Now, okay, we're actually getting the scenario I want to talk about. This is amazing. This almost never happens. Okay, so what we just did is we made a takeout double, right? We said, partner, I want you to bid. And what did partner do? Partner said, I want to play spades for penalty. Thank you for doubling. And this is why we do this way. It is so important that we reopen double in these situations to give partner the opportunity to play for penalty, even at the 1 level sometimes, and especially when we're this short, right? We have a singleton in this spot. We certainly want to be in a spot where we're allowing partner all their options, and they chose the option of let's play for penalty on this one. Now they lead the Jack of Hearts, which is interesting. I don't know. We could take this as just shortness, but this is a spot where it doesn't look like partner needs roughs, right? If they have this many spades, it looks like they have 5 spades over there. I mean, you would guess they do when they're floating a 1-level penalty bid. So it would seem weird if they wanted a rough on this one. I guess it could be Jack small, right? It could be Jack 10 third, I suppose. Which means they would be able to get to dummy and do some stuff. I don't know. Take a second, guys. Plan out your defense while I think myself. We're planning on taking a lot of tricks, that's for sure. At least we hope. That's a little bit of wishful thinking. What I really don't want the declare to do too much is get over to that dummy, right? We would love for them to just be playing out of their own hand. If we hop up with the ace of hearts here, we might create an entry to dummy. If they just have the king, they might be able to go over the queen. I don't know if that's going to be too terrible for us right off the get-go here, other than maybe a pitch. We could also get to the business of leading a spade through declare if we jump up with this ace here. The worry here is obviously if declare has a singleton, right? Because we have 4 in our own hand. So, playing the ace guarantees us at least a trick here, and it will allow us to actually get to the spot of leading through the spade position toward our partner's spot. And now, we have the ability to take some club tricks maybe later in this hand. So I'm going to play the ace of hearts. We hope declare just has the king. If they have the king third, our partner's roughing this suit as well. And here, partner's just going to draw some trump. We're going to pitch hearts. And okay, great. Partner's getting into the business of playing some clubs. We like that. That's our good suit. They played high-low, and of course they have 3. So, partner probably could have led low there. Would have been slightly better, but I think we're going to do okay. Unless the heart position is truly terrible, which it's not. Here, we just want to make sure we protect a diamond trick, right? If we're counting clubs, we should recognize that there aren't any left. And hopefully, Sinclair doesn't have a spade left either. If they do, they're making this. No, sorry. Partner has a 6 of spades. You notice how I don't really count when partner has the rest of the defense to matter with this. Here, plus 200 is pretty good. And let's take a look at the bidding that allowed this to happen. And recognize also, look at our hands first. Look at the north-south hands. What contracts can we make? Go through as many as you think you can get through. Take your time. Pause this one if you need to. Look at the north-south cards. What contracts could we make? What contracts would we want to play in with these cards? Step 2 of that question. Are any of those contracts going to give us plus 200? Doesn't look like it, right? We need to make a game to get that good of a score. And it doesn't, unless the opponents are willing to give us a whole bunch of help, I don't see a game that we can really make here on these cards for the north-south players. So recognize that even playing low-level doubled contracts can sometimes help you realize your absolute best score on a board. If we got this 2 tricks, it would be plus 500, right? Could we have gotten this 2 tricks? Let's take a look. I guess so. Yeah. So the lead here didn't matter what it was. It should have been down 2. And let's see where maybe we went wrong. It looks like it was the club position after this, maybe. King of spades, perfect. And there it is, yeah. So the club lead gets it. If we just make them lead clubs from their own hand at some point, we'll get they won't get one of those club tricks, right? But whatever. Plus 200 is pretty good. We expect this to be happening at the other table as well. If they knew to reopen this with double, I don't know how good the robot is in this particular spot. If they know that this is their best option, I would hope so. If not, we will be able to email them a little bit of a teaching point for the robots. But make sure you recognize what's happening here, folks. Opening bid, left-hand opponent of the opening bidder makes a suit bid, and it goes pass back to you. Now, if you had 4 spades on this end, let's say flop this, or let's say West overcalls a heart instead. Okay, 1 heart. Well, guess what? I would not reopen double, or at least I don't need to do that in this spot. Because is partner going to have a hand that's going to want to play hearts for penalty? Not when I have 4 of them, right? So the more you have, the less need there is for this double. But anytime, I like 3 or less, but really if you want to be a stick, 2 or less, just please reopen this with double. You'll be happy, and partner will just want to reach across the table and hug you when you actually make this bid and allow them to get in there and pass with this massive holding sitting behind them. Good stuff. Glad we got to see that. 2 more days to go. I think we're ahead of the robots at this point, especially because of that wacky board 4 that we were able to get a plus 600 on. If you didn't see that, go back and watch yesterday's session. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you for tomorrow, which is Thursday, boards 7 and 8. Let's keep trucking.